Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video breakdown, jumping into Ripple and how massive they are going to be via the role that they're going to play in this new financial ecosystem. In today's video breakdown, I'm going to prove to you all that financial institutions are for a fact coming, that utility-driven digital assets in the future will thrive. And they have been telling you all this. We are going to experience in the near future, to some degree, a purge of crap coins out of this market. We're going to see regulations flood in and institutions comfortable onboarding into this digital asset ecosystem. And we are going to see this crypto market cap scale to heights that we have and could have never imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be prepared for this. Let me set the tone for today's video breakdown and show you who you're going to be listening to. Michael Sonishin, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He is the CEO of Grayscale Investments. He was a senior advisor for Scholars of Finance and an associate of JP Morgan and an analyst for Bank of America. You get the picture, okay? He's been on the back end of financial institution work pretty much his entire career. Then we have Paul Mopo Chan. He is the financial secretary of the government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Take a second and listen to what these gentlemen have to say about confirming some of the things that I just mentioned to you all.
On being able to talk about crypto at the 2024 annual meeting, I have to say that crypto is in such a different place than we were even just a year ago. A year ago, a lot of the headlines that surrounded crypto, the narrative was that crypto was dead, crypto was going to flame out, and we very quickly found ourselves in a crypto winter. I believe that with each successive crypto winter we've had, it's been a time for companies and businesses like those that are represented here on stage to really build, to focus inwards a little bit. And coming out of crypto winter, you've seen a tremendous amount of resiliency from the crypto community. That's reflected in development work and certainly also reflected in prices, right? If you look back at 2023, Bitcoin was one of the highest returning assets of the year, if not the highest returning asset of 2023. And so now as we're moving into this next phase, this next cycle, we certainly had a big win in the US just last week with the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs coming to market, and believe that that can be a major, major catalyst for continued adoption, more capital infusion into the asset class. And what I like to think is really, for a lot of folks, really weaving crypto into the fabric of the financial services ecosystem in a way that it candidly hasn't been before.
On the acceptance of traditional banks with regard to virtual assets, I think it is coming. Say, for example, we mentioned earlier about building the infrastructure, providing the custodian services. We see increasing interest from global financial institutions interested in acting in that capacity. And in fact, in Hong Kong, I think the Hong Kong MA has allowed the banks to include, subject to certain regulations, say, for example, exposure, to have virtual assets in their portfolio.
That is absolutely massive coming from these two gentlemen. And again, this is from the World Economic Forum Davos meeting that took place at the very beginning of this year. So this information is only a couple months old. It is not outdated. You have to pay attention and listen. So now we're going to let Brad Garlinghouse take the floor. Listen to what he says about how utility matters. It has always mattered. And we, as researchers, have been attempting to tell you guys this for the longest time. And it's going to get deeper. You're going to want to stick around for the entirety of this video breakdown and listen to what these people have to say about how there is going to be a purge in the near future.
Any more to say on the part of my question that was just about sort of the difference between this comeback and all of the other comebacks we've seen? I think it's a natural question to wonder for people that might still be a little bit skeptical. Is this just the same old cycle? Are we going to see it go down again? I mean, all markets do that, of course, but I'd be curious to hear your perspective on that.
Look, I think the remarkable thing is that Bitcoin is over $40,000. We've had massive headwinds in 2023. A lot of those were self-inflicted wounds. I was talking to a couple people before the panel. Over the last 18 months, you've had Celsius, 3 Arrows, FTX, Binance, and yet here we are, as Michael described, in a really interesting looking forward position. I'm extremely optimistic about 2024. So I think, if anything, it's an opportunity to step back and really focus on some of the first principles. And what I mean by that is compliance always mattered. I think that we're now at a time, if we want crypto to flourish and achieve some of the things we want it to in the future, I think we have to make sure we stay true to those first principles. We have to make sure we're focused on something more than speculation. Utility has always mattered. I think utility has always mattered. I think sometimes we lost sight of that in the fervor. But again, people had, as Michael described, I think it wasn't so many Davoses ago that people were like, Bitcoin's, it's done.
Yep.
And yet here we are.
Right. So Brad went on to say that utility matters. And the reason why I'm even bringing this video up from the beginning of the year is because we just had Marcus Enfinger on his LinkedIn profile just a week ago post this and say, and our meetings with traditional financial institutions around tokenization have become more tangible. They want to move into production and are now coming to Ripple with real use cases tied up. This is only from a week ago. The videos that you're watching are from just a couple of months ago. So this is progress. That we're still seeing consistency in the words that are being spoken. Brad Garlinghouse at the World Economic Forum in Davos went on to say utility matters, and it's going to matter in the future. And now we're seeing Marcus Empfinger sit in with financial institutions in meetings and talk about real use cases. He goes on to say, at the FT Crypto today, I discussed why it won't be long before financial institutions are ready for mass adoption of public blockchains like the XRP ledger, on a panel discussion with all of these representatives. Now let's take a second and listen to this gentleman here. I'm not going to butcher his last name, S. He is the CEO of BitCub Group, and he is also a member of the World Economic Forum, as you can see. So again, I'd say that he has a lot more credentials than I myself and you listening. So you should probably take into consideration what he has to say. Take a second and listen.
And I think the whole world is shifting towards this second strategy, towards running a proper infrastructure, compliant way. And it suits the next wave too. I would like to add further from Brad and Michael that the next wave would be probably driven by institutional money, which is like real serious money entering the space, not just retail customers. And as a prerequisite of those institutional funds, they cannot invest in something illegal or invest in infrastructure that are not well with good operations or security, not of the highest security standard. So I think we need to fix on this, on the taxonomy, on the standardization across, on how to regulate the space, on the standardization of how to scale this technology across. I think that's the first stepping stone. And once we have a stable regulation, we have a good security infrastructure, then institutional money will be entering the space.
And the reason why I'm even showing you that, remember, I've been mentioning to you all, and so have other deep researchers, that when regulations are clear, banks will come. Well, he said that at the beginning of the year at Davos, and look at what's happening. Okay, go to Forbes, check it out. Again, these mainstream articles used to never say this, and look at what they're saying. So I mentioned to you all, Forbes wants to tell you all this after Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, that European banks are now considering entering the crypto industry based on clarity provided by the block's adoption of MiCA. We've been telling you this for the longest time, people. We told you this back in the bear market in 2022 and 2023. And now Forbes wants to tell you this after Bitcoin has hit a new all-time high. This is, I'm telling you, you got to see what I'm saying? So it says the largest European banks are now considering entering into the crypto industry based on the clarity provided by the block's adoption of the market's crypto asset regulation. Institutions are coming. It is only a matter of time. It is only going to scale, but first, things need to happen. All right? So let's listen to Brad again, going on to confirm that real utility has yet to shine and that we will most likely enter into a phase in the future. Again, I'm not going to put my finger, and I'm not some crystal ball magic magician to say when that is, but I have a firm belief that in the future, we will see a utility super cycle that will blow people's socks off that were naysayers in the now, right? Take a second and listen.
I said earlier, I think 2024, I think we really do as an industry, and as Michael kind of highlighted, when you go through these, what we've called crypto winters, it's an opportunity to build. And I think you're seeing more of that. And there are more leading companies emerging. I mean, Ripple's now at a place where we have focused on real utility of solving a cross-border settlement problem. We've invested heavily in the custodial area. Circle, who I know is in the audience, has definitely demonstrated a real-world use case. I think Fluency, we're solving problems that people see with these technologies. But I agree, what has driven the non-crypto, well, some of your crypto winters are a reaction to an overhyped cycle of euphoria, enthusiasm, which is just speculation. And I think what we haven't seen yet that I still think we will eventually see is a separation of wheat and chaff of, what are the assets, how are these technologies being used to solve real problems that have real demand versus ones, I'll pick on Dogecoin. I don't get it. Other than Elon Musk as the central actor, I don't see the use case and the purpose. And I'm sure I'll get lots of shit for saying that Dogecoin's not, but oh well.
So again, before this happens, I want you all to listen to this representative here. All right. This is all very important. And this lady, again, an individual with very reputable credentials, Inga M, right? This is going to blow your mind. This is just going to confirm the rest of the video breakdown. The third point. So we talked about institutions are coming. Once regulations are clear, we talked about utility being important. And now we're going to confirm that there will most likely be some type of purge. To what degree that is going to be, again, I don't have a crystal ball, but the market space in which it's operating in now with all these crap coins, that can't happen, right? That's not sustainable. So listen to what this lady says. And this lady, looking at her rap sheet, right now, she's currently the CEO of Fluency. She's a member of the Federal Reserve Remittance Delivery Improvement Work Group for the Federal Reserve System. She's a member of the World Economic Forum. She's a member of the Bank of England. She's a member of 3 different central banks. People, come on now, okay? I'm not showing you a whole bunch of FUD here. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm showing you all people with credentials. Wake up. The video that I'm showing you all barely has any views. Listen to what she says about how there's going to be a purge and how they have to get all the digital assets that have no utility out of the market. Listen.
I think it's essential to say that when we talk about digital assets, we also talk about central bank digital currencies that will be introduced. And looking at the MiCA regulations introduction last year by the European Commission was really refreshing, because obviously having cryptocurrencies regulated will also ensure that there is a larger adoption of other assets and understanding by the end user. In the end of the day, we all need to protect end user, whether it's central bank digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, or stable coins. Nevertheless, the digital euro policy, which was published by the European Commission also in June 2023, which is quite similar with the MiCA introduction, will impact all the payment services providers. So if your clients will be able to withdraw money in fiat currency, in euro currency, they will also need to get compliant with digital euro policy and PSD2. So I think this is really essential for crypto companies also prepared for the future, for multi-digital assets future, when we'll have interoperability between different types of assets, wholesale CBDCs, retail CBDCs, cryptocurrencies which are regulated, so actually getting rid of all those cryptocurrencies that actually made crypto so unpopular over the last 12 months, when we'll have interoperability between different types of assets, wholesale CBDCs, retail CBDCs, cryptocurrencies which are regulated, so actually getting rid of all those cryptocurrencies that actually made crypto so unpopular over the last 12 months.
So again, I'm not attempting to install fear. I'm attempting to show you guys real valued research. This video is from the beginning of the year, and they're not going to show you this. Who's they? The mainstream, which is why here at CYPRX, we're attempting to cover this information to prepare you all, not to shake you out or make you fearful, but so that way you're mentally prepared. Because if we do see some type of massive purge or shakeout to the downside, which is a possibility, it will be temporary. And if you understand that, you understand what will come next. Institutional order flow on a magnitude that is unprecedented, right? It is what needs to take place. It is okay if it happens. If there are other detrimental things and black swan events that take place in the market, we here at CYPRX will be capitalizing on the market downfall and scooping up some discounted opportunities. Stick to regulatory compliant digital asset companies and organizations. If you are going to invest in the space, capitalizing on real utility, digital assets that are going to provide value in the future to the new financial ecosystem. Last but not least, I want to leave you all with this. Again, the gentleman, Michael S. Grayscale, going on to confirm that you need to be patient. This is still a nascent asset class. I know that people hate hearing that we are early, but we are early. And it is a fact. And the more that you understand that, the more patient you will become, and really zooming out and seeing where this digital asset industry is heading in the next 2 to 5 years. It's going to be massive.
Yeah.
I would just add to that, that I think it's somewhat frustrating being inside the crypto ecosystem to sometimes have this, somewhat of an impatience around the development of these use cases. I think we sometimes forget to take that step back, look at really just how short a period of time as a technology, crypto and blockchain has really been functioning successfully. And when I look back on my 10 years in crypto, I can't even begin to think of the number of use cases or developments that have happened in crypto that were never conceived before as crypto, came on the scene. We were never talking about NFTs. We were never talking about ICOs and, the democratization of capital formation. We weren't talking about ordinals. We weren't talking about, a lot of the, different innovations that have come along. And so when I think about where we are today, as we're seeing greater maturation, greater institutionalization of crypto, it is very exciting to sit in our seats, seeing more capital flow into crypto, meaning that crypto will have a larger monetary base. A larger monetary base means more people paying attention to crypto, more people being involved in crypto, which I believe creates somewhat of a flywheel effect where it actually leads to further development activity and totally new use cases that hopefully at the next Davos or the Davos after that, we're going to be talking about other use cases that weren't even conceived of.
So buckle up your seatbelts. As always, hopefully you all enjoyed this video breakdown, again, confirming some things that we have been covering for the longest time on the CYPRX platforms. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, many blessings to you all. Be cognizant, be aware out there, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.